Hey everyone, Tafony here. Today we're going to ramble about the Blue Lantern Vintage Asteroid Kick Drum. That's what it's called in Modular Grid, but it's also called BLM Vintage Asteroid BD. It is that one. So this is the blue panel version. There's also a purple panel version, but what it is a 808 boomy kick. And as they describe it, it's a super simple design. It's trigger in, audio out. There is not a single patch point on here for modulation. They say it's a short run from the original circuit of the very first Asteroid kick drum, which was made in 2008. I'm not really familiar with the Blue Lantern history. However, you can get some dynamics, I believe, by attenuating the input trigger. Not a ton to be said, other than it says this is using new old stock Fairchild through-hole transistors and 5% capacitors. If that means something to you, let me know in the comments, because I don't know what it means. Okay, it sounds like an 808, and it sounds really good. It is really simple. I do wish there was CV control over the tune, because it would be nice to play this thing as a synthesizer or synth bass or what have you. Before I continue, because I forgot to say it already, the quick disclaimer, the anti-disclaimer. I bought this thing used. I did not buy it new. I know they are an Etsy seller. I am not affiliated with Blue Lantern Modular modules in any way. And yeah, I have already probably got some things wrong, so forgive me. And more importantly than all that, it sounds like this. Okay, let's go over the panel quick. There is not a ton going on here, but I'll show you something that I do like about it. So I'm sending it a quarter note from Pam's. I try to do a little slower BPM than I usually do because hip hop. So the first knob is the fine tune. Gives you a little bit of range in the tuning. It's interesting to me that fine tune is here. Maybe it's part of the circuit, because to me, if you don't get control over CV, what need do I have for a fine tune? But that's okay. Here is the coarse tune, or just the tune. What I do really like here, though, is they have little labels on the panel that say drum, so it might be hard to see on the iPad camera, but there is our drum. So anything above that is sort of into like synth range, but get down to that drum label and okay, yeah, that's where the kicks are. And then it can get really subby. And what I do find a little weird about this chip, and I know this is a proper 808, so this is probably how the original is too, but if you don't use the distortion, if you're just using the pure sine waves and not clipping it at all, it gets really quiet, really soft, really thin. So I'm going to go through all the controls with that at noon, because I think it's so important that it's not worth demoing it otherwise. So decay knob, there's no control over the envelope, it's just length of decay, and that is just fine with me. Sounds like a nice kick. That is some hip hop, and it get nice and boomy. Yes, yes. And then there's a tone knob. I'll bring the decay down a little bit so you can actually have some envelope. Here's the tone, all the way open. I think that is like when you turn up the tone, you are turning down the treble, I believe. Let's see if that's true. Turn it down. Yes. So if you want something really nasty, crank the distortion, turn the tone down, which in my mind is kind of counterintuitive, but I'm sure that's how the original was. So turn the decay, just boom it. But then more bassy at the other, yeah. That sounds really nice. That sounds really good. You want that, yeah, proper hip-hop kick. Yeah, I mean, I don't love the blue panel. Sorry, I know it's limited edition, but if we're doing rambling about, I'm going to say that I love silver panels. Silver panels are my favorite. Black is nice too. And some modules I picked black over silver, if I'm being totally honest. But blue, I don't know. Seems like the kind of color that a module you bought on Etsy would come in, which is a shame because it sounds so good. And the panel design is also, it's nice. It's just a shame that it's blue. Okay. I think that's about all there is to say here. There's no, just like there's no CV, there's no bend control, and from what I understand, I know there's 808 aficionados that are gonna know this very well, but I don't believe there was bend on the original either. So the classic hip hop sound is not a bent 909 sound. It is a boomy 808 with no pitch bend. All right, I'm Tafony. Thank you for listening. Talk to you soon. Take care.